Shrikant Pal from Adil Progressive School student. In my today's video, I'll explain you part 2 the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. I think most of you must familiar with this name, Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was a renowned Shehnai player and he was a legend. Why did he legend? Because he played Shehnai on the day when India got independence at the Red Fort. Before the speech of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, in order to signify something auspicious, he was awarded with Bharat Ratna Award in 2001 for his contribution in the field of music. So now I'll explain to the chapter, we'll discuss the word meaning and let's proceed. Now let's begin the chapter. Emperor Aurangzeb and the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill unpleasant sound. So before the Britishers came India was ruled by Mughals, and there was a very famous Mughal ruler named Aurangzeb. He banned means he prohibited the playing of a musical instrument called pungi. He didn't allow to play pungi at his royal residence. Why did he ban to play pungi in his residence? Because it had a shrill, unpleasant sound, because it had a very sharp and unpleasant sound. He didn't like the sound of the pungi. Pungi became the generic name for reed noisemakers, and pungi became the generic name. Generic name means a name given to a class or a group of as a whole, to a reeded noisemakers. So all the instruments, reeded means wind instruments, all the wind instruments come under the common name of pungi. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. Then afterwards no one had thought that one day such noisemaker, such instrument which made unpleasant sound would be played and their sound would be liked by the audience. A barber of a family of a professional musician who had access to the royal palace. So there was a barber family of a professional musician, and who wanted to play the music in the royal palace. He decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. Tonal means sound quality. So what did he decide, the barber? He decided to improve the quality of the sound quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi. So what he did? He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem. Hollow means empty stem, and that was longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. And afterwards he made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. Soft and melodious sounds were produced, and after closing and opening the sum of these holes, that pipe gave a melodious sound. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. So he liked the sound of the instrument and he played the instrument in front of the royal court. Everybody was impressed by the sound. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. So the instrument was this different from the pungi, so it was decided that this instrument had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chamber and was played by a nai, so there is a story behind the name given to this instrument. As it was first played in the Shah's chamber. Shah's chamber means king's chamber. Shah is given a name to a king and was played by a nai, and that instrument was played by a nai. Nai means barber. So the instrument was named the Shehnai. So the name was given to that instrument was Shehnai. So the first part is Sheh, which stands for Shah, and the second part is Nai, that is a barber. So this instrument was named as Shehnai. Sound of Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. So the sound which was produced by Shehnai was considered to be good fortune. Auspicious means promise to bring good fortune. and for this reason it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component. Indispensable component means without which a piece of work cannot be done of any North Indian wedding. So that's the reason that Shehnai being played at many temples and at wedding also in North India. In the past, the Shehnai was a part of Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. So the Shehnai was a part of Naubat. Naubat is a Urdu word and it's mean traditional ensemble, that means a traditional group of 9 musical instruments. So these 9 instruments were played at the royal court and the Shehnai was also a part of it. Till recently it was used only in temples and weddings. So the Shehnai was played at the king's court, in temples and at weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. So it was used on stage in performance and the credit for that goes to Bismillah Khan, who was a legendary Shehnai player and the people wanted to hear him to play Shehnai. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumrao in Bihar. So when he was 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan, he used to play Gilli Danda. You know students, Gilli Danda is a kind of game. He used to play Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumrao. Dumrao is an ancient name, now it is in Bihar. This place is located in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg. So there he would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple. Why did he go to the temple? To sing the Bhojpuri Chaita. Bhojpuri is a local language of Bihar. So there he used to sing Chaita, and at the end when he sing that song or Chaita we can say, then at the last he would earn a big laddu as a reward, and the weight of that laddu was 1.25 kg, a prize given by the local Maharaja. And later, after singing that Bhojpuri Chaita, he was awarded with as a gift of 1.25 kg laddu by local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy was traveled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. So at the age of 80, that little boy has traveled far and he earned the highest civilian award. What is the highest civilian award? The Bharat Ratna. You know, the Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian award in India. So at the age of 80, Bismillah Khan awarded with Bharat Ratna award. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of magicians from Bihar. His grandfather Rasul Bakhsh Khan was a Shehnai Nawaz of Bhojpur King's Court. So here in this stanza, the author says that Bismillah Khan was born on 21st March in 1969 and he belonged to the family of magicians from Bihar. And his grandfather Rasul Bakhsh Khan, he was a Shehnai Nawaz of Bhojpur King's Court. His father and all paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai player. The young boy took to music early in life. So the young boy means Bismillah Khan. He started learning music in early age of his life. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Benares, now Varanasi. So when he was 3 years old, his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Benares, now it's known as Varanasi. Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncle practice the Shehnai. So Bismillah Khan was fascinated. Fascinated means attracted. He was too much attracted towards watching his uncle who was while practicing the Shehnai. Soon Bismillah Khan started accompanying his uncle. So soon Bismillah Khan started going along with his uncle. Where was he going along with his uncle? His uncle's name was Ali Baksh. Ali Baksh to the Vishnu temple of Benares. So where he used to go along with his uncle Ali Baksh? He used to go to the temple, Vishnu temple of Benares, where Baksh was employed to play the Shehnai, where his uncle was employed to play the Shehnai. His uncle used to play Shehnai there. He was doing as a job to play the Shehnai. Ali Baksh would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. And that time he was 3 years old. He was a child. At that time, Ali Baksh would play the Shehnai. He used to play the Shehnai and the Bismillah Khan would sit captivated. Captivated means attracted. And can you imagine a 3 years old child sit continuously for a long hours and he was just watching his uncle to play Shehnai. He started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. So, slowly he started getting lesson in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. Then he started getting lessons or he started learning the Shehnai. And while playing the instrument, he would sit practicing throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of the Balaji and Mangalamaiya and the bank of Gangas became the young apprentice. Young apprentices means under training. And he did his training for many years. Bismillah Khan stayed in Benares and he did his practice at the temple of Balaji, Mangalamaiya and the bank of river Ganga. And these were his favorite haunts. These were his favorite place for practicing the Shehnai, where he could practice in solitude. And he was doing all this practice alone there. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise the invent ragas and that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. So here we come to know about the talent of Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was very talented. He was so inspired and motivated by the river Ganga. It provoked him to improve his performance in Shehnai, and later on he also invented many ragas and that were considered impossible to be produced by Shehnai. At the age of 14, Bismillah Khan accompanied his uncle to his Allahabad music conference. So when he was 14 years old, Bismillah Khan went along with his uncle to Allahabad music conference. At the end of his recital means performance, Ustad Faisal Khan patted the young boy's back and said, so Ustad Faiz Khan was impressed by his performance and patted his back and said, work hard and you shall make it. And he said that if you would work hard, then you would make your name in the field of music. You will shine. With the opening of All India Radio in Lucknow 1938 came Bismillah Khan big break. So when the All India Radio station started in Lucknow in 1938, Bismillah Khan got his first break. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. Then he became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. When India gained independence on 15 August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. So student, as told you before the starting of the chapter, then when our nation got independence on 15 August 1947, then Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai performance. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience, and from there he played Rag Kafi from the Red Fort, and after that, which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. And after his performance, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru gave his famous speech Tryst with Destiny. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. And students, Bismillah Khan has given his memorable performance not only in India but also in abroad. He was famous worldwide. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Jahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. So, his first abroad trip was to Afghanistan, and the king of Afghanistan, King Zahir Shah, he was so impressed, he was so attracted, taken in by means attracted by Bismillah Khan. So he had given him priceless gift like the Persian carpets and other souvenirs. Souvenirs means things given in the memory of a place and person or event. So he gave so many priceless gifts as a reward to make his trip memorable to Afghanistan. The king of Afghanistan was not only one to be fascinated with Bismillah Khan music. So, the king was not the only one person who was fascinated with Bismillah Khan's music. There were so many more people. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah Khan play at festival that he named a film after the instrument called Goonch Uthi Shehnai. So, not only King Zahir Khan was impressed by him, there were many other people who were impressed by his performance, his Shehnai performance. One of them were film director Vijay Bhatt. He was so impressed after hearing his play at the festival, and then later he named a film after the instrument called Goonch Uthi Shehnai. The film was hit, and the one of Bismillah Khan's composition Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya turned out to be a nationwide chart buster. So, and that film, it became hit, and Bismillah Khan's composition of the song Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya turned out to became a nationwide chart buster. Despite this huge success in the celluloid word means old-fashioned way of referring to films. So, despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's venture in films music were limited to two. So, although he was famous nationwide and international wide, but all of this huge success, he was limited. He only worked for limited movie, we can say. Vijay Bhatt's Goonch Uthi Shehnai and Vikram Srinivas Kannada venture Sanadhya Apna. So he worked for two or more movies, and one is of Vijay Bhatt, that is Goonch Uthi Shehnai, and the Vikram Srinivas Kannada venture, that is Sanadhya Apna. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film word, he says with emphasis. Then he emphasized on his statement that he couldn't come to terms with where there is artificiality and glamour. He didn't like the world of artificiality and glamour because he was the man of down to earth. He liked simplicity. Awards and recognitions came thick and fast. Thick and fast means he got a lot of awards and was recognized at many places. So Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Expositions in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So Bismillah Khan got a lot of recognition as was honored with awards. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tihar Mosque Ustad Bismillah Khan. So when he became popular internationally in Tehran, an auditorium was named after him, that was Tihar Mosque Ustad Bismillah Khan. So he was a person who was popular all over the world. National awards like Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. Conferred means given. So he was given so many national awards like Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Vibhushan. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna, with the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness. So in 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded with the highest civilian award, that is the Bharat Ratna. Coveted means much desire, and he was very happy. He was very happy after achieving that award. His eyes were shining. He was very happy because his hard work had been recognized. And he said, "All I would like to say is teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music." So he gave an important message to the country. He told all the Indians to teach music to their children because music is the richest tradition of India. He said that even the Western countries also wanted to learn India's music. In spite of having traveled all over the world, Khan Sahib, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Banaras and Dumrao, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. Although Ustad Bismillah Khan ji travelled all over the world, but he was deeply attached from Banaras and Dumrao, where he born and brought up, and he always remained touched with these two places, and he found these two places were the most wonderful towns in the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in USA. So once what happened, a student of his, when he was in USA, asked him to open a school of Shehnai in USA, and the student also promised him that he would recreate the atmosphere of Banaras by replicating the temples there. So that students promised him that he copy the temples of India and he recreate the atmosphere of Banaras in USA, so that he could open one school in USA as well. But Khan Sahib asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. So to answer this, he replied that he said whether it would be possible for him to transport river Ganga as well in Banaras. So this shows that Bismillah Khan was rooted from his hometown and Banaras. Later he said, "That is why whenever I am in foreign country, I keep yearning to see Hindustan." Then later he said, whenever he was in abroad, he always missed Hindustan. Yearning means desire. He desired to come back to Hindustan. "I keep yearning to see Hindustan, while in Mumbai I think of only Banaras and Holy Ganga." So when he says when he was in abroad, he always think about to see Hindustan, come back to Hindustan, and when he was in Mumbai, he always missing Banaras and the Holy Ganga. And while in Banaras, I miss the unique matha of Dumrao. And then he says whenever he is in Banaras, he always miss the unique matha of Dumrao. Ustad Bismillah Khan had been ill for a long time, and he died on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90. And the entire country mourned the death of the legendary magician. There was a holiday for one day and he was given a state funeral. So student, this was the end of the chapter, and I hope you understood the explanation. Thank you so much.